This video is about the Plikli CMS installation process. Just a glimpse of history about how the installation process was in Plikli and previously in Plik. It was always a bit overwhelming and a lot of manual requirements that the user who is installing the CMS had to go through. And this is just the list that you have to do manually before you proceed to the installation. And if you don't fix them when you go to the installation, you start getting errors until you fix each one of them. In Clicky, I improved it a bit. Yet again, now in Plikli CMS, I improved it way more. And I promise that in the future version releases, it will be improved and enhanced more and more and more. So now I modified a bit the README file because this is the first thing that you have to read so that you know about the requirements of the CMS, what you need to do normally and stuff, and what it does for you. So this is the README file, the first thing you should read. And it tells you here that these are the requirements. We will see the PHP and MySQL versions, minimum that are needed, and some PHP functions as well. Now, fear not, because other than the requirement number one, which is create a MySQL database, which we can't do for you, you have to do this step: create the database and have the database name, username, password, and host ready for you to use in the next step of the installation. So other than that, all the other requirements here will be taken care and fixed for you. You don't have to sweat, you don't have to do anything manually, rename or change the permission of a folder or a file, nothing at all. And to do this, before you go to the installation, you have to check if you meet the requirements. So you click on the troubleshooter from here or from here. So let's do this, or from here too. So we click on the troubleshooter. But before I click on that, I'm going to show you that if you go straight to the, as it says, navigate to where you have the Plikli CMS folder to install, this is what you get, because it detected automatically that the settings PHP file was not found and the dbconnect PHP file was not found also as well. Why? Because they are not renamed yet, which we had to do manually. But again, this is only a warning. It's just to tell you that these are needed, and these two files are the main files to proceed with the installations. More important than the chmod of the folders and the subfolders or files in them. So major two files are these, and they are not found. But when you click on the troubleshooter here or from the README file, look what's going to happen. So out of the 23 requirements that are needed for the installation, we met 18 so far. Why? And you see, in here it tells you that we renamed the settings PHP.default to settings PHP, the same for dbconnect PHP, and it looked and fixed if there was anything in the logs folder. It changed the permission, chmod settings for all the required files, and it checked for the PHP version, which is the minimum 5.4.3, and the MySQL version as well. PHP functions, the curl, fopen, and all the others are available, which are required. So all we have to do now to fix the rest is, because the rest are related to this language selection, Instead of renaming manually the file, I provided this option. It lists all the language files that are available for the CMS. All you have to do is select the one of your choice. So I'm going to select the English and click submit, and all the 23 requirements are met. So now all we have to do is go to the install folder. And again, it just gives you the README file to tell you what to do before and after the installation, like changing back the CH mode to 666 on the DB Connect and the settings PHP, so that no one can put them read only, which the installation process will do for you. Next step, in here you have to enter all the information I told you about the database. So let's start with the database name, username, and then you provide the password, localhost, table prefix. The default is Plikli _. You can choose the prefix you want. It's not necessarily this one, providing that you will end it with an underscore. So let's say this one, and check settings. Now, based on the information you provided here, it will check the database if the CMS has access to it, if everything is okay. So it updated the DB Connect with the information you provided, and then there was no error. Proceed to the next step. And it created all the tables needed. It fixed all the CH mode permission for the few files that are for security reasons. Now all you have to do is create the admin account so that you can access the CMS. Of course, I'm putting a fake email. Now the website name. It is recommended and important to provide your own website name, even though you have an option. Once you finish creating the admin account, you can access the dashboard, and then if you have a logo already created, you can use it. I will show you how. But just in case the logo for somehow didn't load, it takes the default site name. Otherwise, this one will show, which is my site. It doesn't make any sense, and it wouldn't be relevant to the content of your website. So provide the name that will suit your website. So I'm gonna put just here Plikli CMS and create the admin account. So it tells you here that we changed the DB Connect CH mode back to make it secure. It tells you to delete the installed directory, and this is, I can do it automatically, but I won't, because to rename I can rename the directory for you instead of install, but the other name is going to be shown and visible in the code, and it's an open source, so anyone would know that this is, now that the installation process renamed this folder, they know the folder, they can access the files and then click on the installation or whatnot. That's not a good security measure. So you have to do it manually, otherwise you will keep getting the nag and you will see it. So log in, it tells you log in to the the dashboard using your admin account, and then configure your site accordingly. And for support, now let's log in. So we logged in and we see here the Plikli version, which is 4.00. It shows in here as well the name of the member, the newest member, which is me, the first member, and admin at the same time. Now, as I said, in the settings, you can set the logo here. All you have to do is provide a path to it, and it gives you an example. Okay, so let's see here. But before I set it, let's yeah, you see, it took the name Plikli CMS, but somehow it's not fitting. Anyway, if we change it to the logo now, and we refresh, it took the logo instead. And vice versa, if you decide to give the logo a break, the site that you provided during the installation will be shown instead. So this is how the installation is as easy as ABC. You have plenty of features and settings that I added to the dashboard rather than going in manually, which was the process uh, in other versions of CMS like Clicky and Plig. You have to go and manually change the core files, and you will lose everything when you upgrade to a new version. So now, no more, because everything is set in the dashboard in the config. I hope you will make benefit of the CMS and enjoy it.